Hey everyone, today I'm going to be going over the brand new Legacy of Raekor set changes for the Diablo 3 Season 26. Pretty fun new build. They have made quite a bit of changes as they've been doing pretty much every season, changing one set to kind of update it and give it its own kind of unique feel. So this season is the Legacy of Raekor set. This is the Furious Charge build set, whatever you want to call it. The major changes that they've made is they have incorporated weapon throw now and Ancient Spear, whereas before it was Furious Charge and then whatever skill you want. And now it increases Ancient Spear damage and it makes you throw extra Ancient Spears. So the 2-set bonus, I believe, is unchanged. So Furious Charge refunds a charge if it hits only one enemy. The 4-set piece now, Furious Charge gains the effect of every rune and deals 1000% increased damage. I think that is the same, but the thing that they added is for every 1% life you're missing, the damage of your Ancient Spear is increased by 2%, which is pretty cool. Kind of has some synergy with the Shimizu's cloak, which makes it so that you critical hit every time if your health is below, I think, 25 or 35%. And then the 6-piece set bonus, hitting enemies with Furious Charge or Weapon Throw, increases the damage of your next Ancient Spear by 5,500% and causes it to release multiple spears from its target. The effect stacks and each spear throw consumes a maximum of 5 stacks. So you'll see when I show you some gameplay that you start to gain stacks, which will be down here when you Furious Charge or when you Weapon Throw. Then they changed the Ariat's Law weapon to now Weapon Throw and Ancient Spear deal 200% increased damage. Weapon Throw generates up to 25 additional Fury based on the distance of the enemy hit. And the generator Fury can now go above the maximum cap by 200 Fury. And then Ancient Spear refunds up to 25 Fury based on the distance of the enemy hit. So actually that increasing the cap of your Fury is really helpful for Ancient Spear Boulder Toss, which spends all of your Fury and then deals 20% weapon damage for every single point of Fury. So if you have 350 Fury, you can see how that would get pretty out of control pretty quickly. And then the 300th Spear was also changed, increased the damage of Weapon Throw and Ancient Spear by 169%. The attack speed of Weapon Throw is increased by 200%. Really nice. And Scholar's Salvation increased the damage of Ancient Spear by 199%. If your Ancient Spear Boulder Toss, which is what we're going to use, hits 5 or fewer enemies, the damage is increased by 100%. So that's just to give you a little bit of a bonus if you're fighting like a Rift Guardian or an Elite Pack. On top of the 5 pieces of the Raekor set that I'm using, because we are using Ring of Royal Grandeur in this setup, I have Captain Crimson's to get some cooldown reduction, which is super useful. Band of Might gives you some damage reduction, and then Convention of Elements for some additional damage. You can use squirts in the next slot. I'm kind of debating on what to use in the next slot because I also really like and wanted to mention Traveler's Pledge Compass Rose. Now, if you're going to use Traveler's Pledge and Compass Rose, I think you have to give up Captain Crimson's because you really can't give up Convention of Elements. You need that damage boost. But the 50% damage reduction from Traveler's Pledge Compass Rose may be necessary because the 6 pieces of Raekor's Legacy do not have a damage reduction ability. So definitely something to consider, and I don't think that this build is final by any means. And then in the cube, I am just using the Furnace for some 50% damage against elites. Mortix Brace so that you get all 4 Wrath of the Berserker, not all 4, so you get all of the Wrath of the Berserker runes. And then, of course, Ring of Royal Grandeur. Mortix Brace is super useful because Wrath of the Berserker has Insanity, so you get 50% damage, and Striding Giant, so 50% damage reduction. Super useful. We'll go into the skills real quick. I'm using Furious Charge Merciless Assault, just so that you can continuously Furious Charge. Furious Charge triggers your Band of Might, and it also helps you gain stacks, and gets you some more Ancient Spear damage. Warcry Veteran's Warning for some dodge chance, just extra armor, very defensive. I'm using Battle Rage for the increased damage and critical hit chance. Wrath of the Berserker we already went through, and then Weapon Throw and Ancient Spear because they trigger with the build. For my gems, I'm using diamonds and everything because I need the cooldown reduction and because I need the defensiveness of the resistances. I am currently testing out Gogok of Swiftness, again for the cooldown reduction, because I would really like to get 100% uptime on Wrath of the Berserker, but you need very, very high cooldown reduction. So even with my 65% cooldown reduction, I am struggling to get this to be up 100%. Just testing out Bane of the Powerful, also testing out Bane of the Trapped and Bane of the Stricken, and then Zay's Stone of Vengeance is very good because your typical playstyle is like charge in at something, throw some weapons, and then you're going to throw an Ancient Spear pretty far away, and you know that extra damage is really helpful. So just to give you some gameplay, we'll jump into a Greater Rift. So you'll see what we're going to do is we're going to use Furious Charge and Weapon Throw to build up some stacks of Raekor's Charge, and then we'll just throw a boulder, and it just absolutely wrecks everything. You'll see that multiple boulders get fired, and that is what consumes the stacks. So you do get a decent amount of AoE, which is pretty cool. And you'll also see that as I'm throwing Weapon Throw, my Fury, maximum Fury, goes up to 350 instead of the typical maximum of 150. So that's really nice. You can just kind of Furious Charge around, throw some boulders, everything dies. This is a 92 because that's the highest that I have access to right now on the PTR. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much crushes everything. It's definitely weak, so you have to watch your health and be careful while you're playing, which is not, you know, typical of a barb. The barb is, you know, usually just running in, not caring about too much, playing in close quarters, or, you know, being the support in a group. So it's a little bit of a different playstyle, but it is super fun to just chuck rocks and have everything die, I have to say. Now, where you might struggle is when the Rift Guardian spawns. I love how fast you throw the weapon throw too with that 200% increased damage, or 200% increased attack speed, or attacks 200% faster. I don't know. Words are hard. So yeah, you can see when you've got everything going with the boulder toss, when you've got all the stacks, you've got a damage pylon. If you time it up with your Convention of Elements, you can really do a ton of damage. And I do like the mobility of Furious Charge. You can run out of stacks, but it's pretty hard. You know, if you hit one guy, the stack is refunded. If you hit a bunch of guys, you know, the cooldown is reduced, so that you have a pretty high chance of always having a stack, though it is possible to run out. Channeling Pylon is nice. You can definitely get 100% uptime on your Wrath of the Berserker with 100%, or with Channeling Pylon going. No dying. %. Let's go. Alright, so in this type of situation, you want to, you know, just get as much Fury as you can, so all the way up to the 350%, and then that's it. Yeah, so at a 92, it's not so bad, but I can imagine that at higher GRs, it would be pretty difficult. But yeah, that's the new Legacy of the Raekor build with all of the most current changes as of the recording of this video to incorporate Weapon Throw. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press that like button, please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Bye.